I am beyond excited. I have such a treat for you today. If you've ever considered traveling the world, doing what you want, and making a lot of money from your laptop, I'm interviewing somebody today. For so long, I've helped people get their dream lives and dream projects and passion projects funded, but this is another way to go about it. Imagine that, being able to travel the world, live in this country for a few years and that country for a few months, be able to do what you want, be able to work whenever you want, whatever time of day or night. That's what he does. So I'm really excited to share this 4-part series, this 4-part interview with Daniel Oguin, also known as Oguin, and I hope you get a lot of value out of it if you're interested in potentially making money, living the laptop lifestyle. Here's the interview. I want to introduce you to Oguin, also known as Daniel Oguin.
Hello. Nice to meet you. How you doing?
So before we get started, I have to make sure that we're all clear on what a laptop lifestyle or a freedom lifestyle is. Really, to me, it's just all about being able to do what you want, where you want, how you want, being able to make the impact you want, being around the people that matter the most to you, and just whatever the desires are for you. That line between work and play should kind of be melded together. It should kind of just flow like a gradient on a canvas, and you should just always feel lit up and excited and exuberant about whatever is going on, whether it be work, whether it be play, whether it's making money, whether it's working on passion projects, or just out exploring the world. With all the traveling, all the things you've done, what are some of the most exciting or memorable experiences you've had while you've been traveling?
Well, if you could imagine the Great Pyramids of Egypt that are thousands of years old, I got to climb them. I got to go inside of the Queen's Chamber of the Great Pyramid of Egypt, of Giza, and I got to chant. I've gotten to sail the River Nile. I've gotten to go to India to walk along the River Ganga, as they call it, or the Ganges River. Stayed in ashrams. I've gotten to paint and illustrate and meet and learn from wise sages. And I've gotten to meet some extraordinary people along the way, both old and young, and document this process and this journey through art, design, music. I met the love of my life in Thailand. I've learned a lot through working with others in different backgrounds, different cultures, which expands my philosophies and my perspective on life and humans and happiness, and what wealth and abundance means to me, what time means to me, and how I perceive it and how I value it and how I spend it.
So when it comes to visualization and deciding your trajectory, we talked about deciding that it's possible. So can you tell us a little bit about what that means?
Definitely. I'll take it back to the beginning. I remember when I just graduated college, I knew that there was only one path that I could take, and that was art and design. That's it. Like back in 2011, that was the decision. I had no other option. I used to get teased and made fun of because I didn't have a job where I could make money, because all I was doing was art, still staying at my mom's house. I mean, for 14 to 16 hours a day, I was in front of the computer working, building a portfolio. And so as soon as I made that decision, it changed the trajectory of my life, because that was my sole focus. I didn't have any other option. So whatever it is you want to do in life, just make sure you can commit the next couple years of your life to it. Friends and family, closest people in your life, are going to tease you. They're absolutely going to tease you, and I think you can share the same experiences, because people don't share your vision. Like, nobody's vision means something more to you than it does to yourself. When our group of friends would be like, "What do you think Daniel's doing?" Because it was a joke, because they knew I was in front of my computer, and everyone was like, "Yeah, in front of his computer again." If we went out to eat and I'd bust out my credit card, knowing I just had a little bit of money, people would say, "Hey, you're gonna pay for that? Like, you don't have a job."
So what would you say to someone who they're saying stuff like, "Yeah, he can do it because he's talented, I'm not talented," or "It's not gonna work for me because I come from this kind of family, or and I live in this kind of town"?
Yeah.
What kind of advice would you give someone?
I started at ground zero. I had to learn everything. I didn't just get to pick up my laptop and decide to go travel within the first year. It took me 3 or 4 years to build up my skills and to be able to build my client base as well. It really doesn't matter how young or green or fresh or professional you are, as long as you want it badly enough, and you're passionate enough, you'll be able to commit for you to be able to gain the skills necessary to do what you want to do.
I feel like one thing that has really helped me in the earlier days was always visualizing the end result. I wonder what it'd be like to live in Egypt and to live in Spain, or be able to travel to wherever I want. I don't want to go into a job. I want to be able to wake up at noon if I want, or I want to be able to start work at 6 a.m. and be done by noon, and then have the rest of my life free. So, vision boarding and just really having that end result in front of you so that you can look at it. I always had that vision, but what I didn't have was mentorship. I didn't have guidance. And that's really why I'm so passionate about bringing someone like this to you, because he has all of the steps in order of how to do this. Om told me that you really have to decide your niche. Do you want to tell them about deciding your niche?
Definitely. So for me personally, I work with a hair care company and a fashion company. And this is powerful because those two types of companies always need design work. And so if I'm speaking directly to my designers out there, if you know your perfect client is Nike or Adidas, then what you're going to have to do is obviously build your portfolio and target it directly to them. So you're not going to go off designing interior designs, and you're not going to go doing like cartoon characters. You're going to want to create amazing world-class shoe designs and ad campaigns to put those brand new sparkly shoes in, and you're going to make them look like they're in the real world. And so when the opportunity presents itself, you'll be able to present that portfolio directly to your dream client. Even if you take that work and you don't necessarily get to present it to Adidas, you're already doing what you love. Then you'll be able to get more clients and more portfolio pieces that you'll be able to then use to present to your dream client one day. If you create a YouTube channel and you're a physical therapist, then all you would have to do is find a specific group of people with specific ailments and literally just film the process of you walking them through one of your treatments, and do it well, do it beautifully, and do it wisely. And then you'll be able to use that content, again, build a portfolio, use social media, take snippets of those larger videos, put them out into the world, and then you'll start naturally attracting the types of people that you want to work with. It would be hard for a doctor or any consultant to do it if their client's needs were to be able to see you in person. So make sure if it's that particular niche that you can
do it from abroad.
You can do it from abroad. Yeah, exactly.
Totally. So you have this knowing that it's possible because you've worked on yourself internally. You've said, okay, I don't believe that it's possible, but I'm going to work on that. I'm going to start doing the internal work necessary to get myself to believe. And then you decide your niche demographic, your area that you really want to focus on. If you were to start over before you had the skill set and you wanted to start immediately, what would you put out there, and how would you contextualize that?
Two things. One would be sharing client work, because when I did start using social media and my clients that I was working with shared the designs and the artwork and the projects they were working on, with each project I got anywhere between 5 to 10 referrals. So it's an abundance. It's a huge, gigantic like potluck of potential work. Like that's where your gold is. Referral-based clients have brought me to where I'm at.
What about before you had the skill set though? So you're
even before I had the skill set. So sharing client work, because immediately your work becomes eternal on the web. It's not something you just hide inside of your hard drive. There's a short time span between when the project finishes and when your client goes off and lives their life. It's in that short time period where they still remember you and appreciate you for what you've done. So you have to utilize that time extremely well and just ask a simple favor. Say, would you mind referring me? Most of the time they will without you even asking, but that's all it takes is saying, hey, if you appreciate the work I've done, I'd love to help some people maybe in your network as well. Can we post this? And you can tag me on Instagram or Facebook. Number two is challenging yourself, especially if you're learning a new skill or a new piece of software or hardware, wherever it may be. Document your learning process because people love to see the internal behind the curtain workings of what it is you're doing. Because everything in this day and age is like, hey, look how sparkly and polished my life and my traits are. Like, I'm perfect. No, people love to see behind the scenes access. People love it so much. So documenting that would have been nice, and challenging myself to do like 1 a week or 1 a day posts where I'm saying, hey, I'm learning this, or I'm experimenting with this new style or this new software. Is anybody out there that can help me, give me some traits? Here's something I've learned. So it's less about saying, hey, look at me and my great work or my training, but it's also about building a community, because even when you begin to travel the world, you'll be able to tap into the network of people that you've bonded with on social media. And it's happened to me where I have somebody that's following me in Bali, Indonesia, for example. And when I get to Bali, I'm able to contact that person and meet them in real life. Like, that's so fun for the laptop lifestyle.
Yeah, and I feel like that's one of the biggest differentiations between making money on your laptop from home and actually taking action and going out in the world and going from place to place. When I was a music producer, I got flown to all different places within the U.S. I didn't expand too much out of the U.S., but it would be, hey, come to Florida for a month. We'll put you up. Hey, look, come to New York. You know, let's go to L.A., go to you know, Denver, wherever it is. And I would get to stay with those people and experience those cities. And I feel like that's a big deal to be able to do that. Yeah! I hope you loved the interview. I'm going to do a little recap so that you have crystal clear understandings of what you need to do if you want to live the laptop lifestyle. The first thing we did is we discussed what is a laptop lifestyle, which is being able to make money from your laptop so you can travel where you want, you work on your own time, and live a life of complete freedom. Daniel discussed some of the most beautiful experiences that he's had, including being able to live in Egypt, in Thailand, in Hawaii, meeting the love of his life while he was traveling, and all kinds of other beautiful, amazing things that just really made his life more valuable because he got to work from wherever he wanted. Then he discussed the importance of honing your craft, getting really good at what you do. But not just getting good in the dark dungeon of your basement, but actually sharing your music on social media as you're getting better and better. And of course, the pro tip of asking your clients after you finish their work to share it on social media and to tag you in it so you can get more work. Then he talks about friends and family and how they sometimes can maybe not believe in you and maybe make fun of you. And that's not because they don't care about you, but because they actually do care about you and want to see you succeed and maybe think that your ambitions are a bit too high and that maybe you might fail. So the truth is, just keep pushing. Believe in yourself regardless of what anyone else says. No matter if you have no talent at all, how young you are, how old you are, just put in the work. Then we discussed the importance of visualization, right? Not just some woo-woo visualization, but the actual type of lifestyle that you want, visualizing it and getting really clear about it. I remember when I was a teenager, I wanted to just be a famous music producer in the rap industry. And then I realized I didn't want people in that industry really knowing about me. That's not my thing. So I started visualizing about a different type of person that I wanted to interact with. Next thing you know, I realized I wanted to impact heart-centered, motivated people. So the vision, it keeps expanding. It keeps evolving. Think about your vision. Think about what you want. Think about all the different aspects and keep adding new things in as they come up in your life. Next, we discussed finding your niche demographic, right? Don't just be a writer. Write stories about unexpected serendipity. Don't just be a graphic designer. Design, shoes based on historical moments that change the world, right? Don't just be a musician. Be a musician that creates songs that sync up to classic movies or something. Find your niche, but not just any niche, right? You want one that you love and a niche that is profitable. So whatever you do, make sure it's something that over and over and over again, 3, 4, 5 times a week, companies are going to need to hire you to do more versions of that thing if you're a service provider. Next, we discovered the power of creating a portfolio specifically for your dream client, right? A body of work that you can present to the number one person or the number one company that you dream of working for. And the last thing we discussed was documenting your learning process and then posting it online. So I hope you enjoyed it. In the next video, we're going to talk about planning out your dream lifestyle. We're going to talk about planning out how much money you'll need to live that exact dream lifestyle, including flights, hotels, Airbnbs, cars, gear, travel, whatever it is that you need to pay for, and then budgeting that into how many clients you're going to need. We also talk about how to properly execute the work when you get the clients so that they're super happy. And we even have a worksheet that you'll be able to fill out so you make sure nothing falls through the cracks. That video is called Reverse Engineering the Laptop Lifestyle. So I hope you got a lot of value from this video. I love helping people sculpt their dream lives. So if I can do anything to help you, please don't hesitate to reach out. I love you, and please have no regrets on your deathbed. See you next week.